Hey everybody, welcome back to Electric Cafe. Today's video is a album review on Talking Heads' 1979 album Fear of Music, which is their third album. Um, really, this is kind of the album that I wouldn't necessarily say broke them because they had a top 40 hit in Take Me to the River on the album before this. Or was it? Or was it on Remain Light? Well, actually, what I was going to say was this is kind of the album that was starting to break them before their big hit in Remain in Light, and then obviously they went on to speaking in tongues and had a really successful career. Even though it's strange when you look at their albums and their singles, I think they only had like three top 40 songs in America, but it's just, I mean, the legacy that they left and the creativity and I don't know how many albums they have, 8 or 9 albums or something like that, but for a good, 10 years from like 77 to 88. I think they broke up right after that album. And when you look at the body of work that they did and just the unique sound they have, it's not rivaled by many bands. Um, so yeah, we're gonna review this album. I probably got this album, probably heard this album probably kind of late, probably like maybe 20 years ago, probably sometime in the early 2000s was the first time I heard this album. On a scale of me being a Talking Heads fan, 1 to 10, I'm probably. I mean, it's hard to say because it's probably different people would have different rankings, but I'm on the good side. I'd probably say I was a 5 or a 6 or a 7 somewhere in there. Like as far as a fan, like I really liked their period from 77 to about 83, right up to burning down the house and things like that. Not so much albums after, not like And She Was and some of the later albums not really a fan of, but I do respect their creativity and their sound and their place in history. Like nobody was really doing a kind of a such a unique blend of kind of funk and with like a punk attitude, and obviously Tina um, uh, is very strong in her own way, and I really like her stuff with Tom Tom Club, which I have a couple other albums. And and I do like some David Byrne stuff, solo stuff as well. He kind of got into electronic music and has done some good music over the years. It's a shame that they didn't get back together and tour. I think that was like proposed. I did see a recent interview with him, and he's still doing some good things. He was talking about his sort of media company newspaper thing he runs in New York, which is really cool. So I respect everything he's doing. It's too bad that they didn't get back together. I guess they did play that one concert, and then everybody kind of got tickets for it or didn't get tickets for it, and then I guess it sort of fell through as far as like having more shows. But I know they have some people. I wouldn't say swear by them, but you know I wouldn't say they're a little bit before my time, but I remember when Burning Down the House came out in '83. My brother had that album, and we played it a lot during that year. But I never really heard their early albums, Remain in the Light, or actually even Speaking in Tongues, which is the not the album I meant, but um, the live album. Kind of blanking on the name today. But up to the '82 album, I had never heard that album, which was the Speaking in Tongues album. So those 5 albums I heard before. I mean, 5 albums up to Burning Down the House. Why can't I think of the live album? Ugh, it's gonna frustrate me. Um, what's the live album? Guys, it's gonna bug me. Of course, the one where he's wearing the big suit and everything like that. Why can't I think of the name? It's gonna bug me. I should go look at. I got the album right there. All right, I will. Stop Making Sense. Stop Making Sense is the name of the album. That bothered me. I had to do that. Sorry for that. But up to Speaking in Tongues, I never heard those albums till I got all 5 of them in the early 2000s. I wanted to really kind of dive in deep to what Talking Heads were about and really kind of understand them. And so for the last 20 years, I play them here and there. Wouldn't say I'm the biggest fan, but I definitely respect them and I like their music, and I do play them occasionally. So looking into this album, there's 11 tracks. They had 3 singles from this album. First one is actually one of the singles. It's Zimbra. I really like the beat, the groove, the bass. Unfortunately, it just doesn't really kind of go to the next level, which is kind of the theme for this album for me. I mean, if I had to rank my favorite Talking Heads albums without comparing them next to each other, I would probably just say Stop Making Sense is my second favorite. Speaking in Tongues is my third favorite. Remain in Light is probably my first favorite. And then this might be fifth. So I think I even do like more revolutionary. I always forget the name of that album, Food and Buildings or whatever it is. I think I might like that album better. And then this might be compared to their first album of their first 6 albums. So this isn't necessarily my most favorite favorite album, and this one is a good example. This track it doesn't really take it to the extra level for me. It's not as funky as some of their other albums. It's not as unique. This is kind of in the middle. It's kind of got elements of everything, but just doesn't really kind of take it to the next level for me. But I Zimbra, it's a good song. I got 2.25 stars. Mind, this is the second track. I like this one a little bit better. The way it's sung, it's a little more funky. I got 3 stars. Really good song. Paper is a really disappointing track. I got it 1 star. It's just okay. I like Cities even more than Mind. The chorus, this was also a single off the album. The guitar riffs, this one's more tighter, more cohesive. It's more of a complete song. I have it 3.25 stars, so I like it a little bit better than Mine. And then you have Life During Wartime, which was the other single. It's definitely the most popular song on this album. It's kind of a classic, funky guitar. It's kind of sung, unusual. You can never miss those lyrics or forget them once you hear him, and him talking about him getting some peanut butter. It's just a great line. Especially because I even have some peanuts right here, but peanut butter and jelly sandwich is one of my favorite favorite songs and favorite foods, and I always like the song because of that. I got 3.5 stars, so obviously a classic song, and there's really no way to. Could it be an excellent song? Maybe if I was a huge Talking Heads fan, I would think it was an excellent song. I got it in between very good and excellent, so I could see somebody rating it a little higher than I do. But then it goes right into Memories Can't Wait, which is kind of a lackluster song. I got it 1.5 stars. Really can't say anything good or bad about it, but it's a little bit better than okay. Air is a little bit better. I like the changes in the song. It's a little more spooky, different, eerie, unusual than the previous songs on this album. I got 2.5 stars. I also have Heaven 2.5 stars. So it's overall a much better song, especially than the couple that I've rated lower than that through the album so far. This one's definitely more of a full track, that actually works really well and goes somewhere, and you actually, kind of wouldn't say like sing along or anything, but it's more memorable for sure. Then Animals is track number 9. It's clever. The melody that comes out the loop at the end is definitely really cool. There's like a last 30 seconds where the guitar and the beat, and there's just kind of like this resonance from the guitar that kind of turns into like a harmonic that sounds like a melody. It's really cool. But unfortunately, that's like the only thing I really liked about the track for the most part, but I got it a good track. It was okay up to that point, and then I really liked that part. So I put it as good. Electric guitar track number 10. I don't know, just 1 star. I got it as okay. It just doesn't really do much to me. The lyrics are kind of corny. And then Drugs comes up. I really like Drugs. It's different and more unusual than anything else on the album. It's got a cool atmosphere. I like the beat. It's got more experimentation, melody. I got 3.25 stars. I really like this album. It's a good album to end with. When I think of the overall, so it's got some very good songs. It's got 4 songs that are very good out of the 11, so not a bad percentage there. Just too many in the okay and lower side, really. Just overall, I got 7 tracks that are okay or less. That's just that's 2/3 of the album is okay or less, and that's not acceptable to get a good score, anyways. But Life During the Wartime is good. Cities, and then the track Mind, and it's got some pretty good secondary songs, Air and Heaven, and I really like Drugs. Lots of good funk in here, some nice beats, good energy, good production, pretty good recording overall. Can't really complain anything there. Just the opportunity of the album just lacks some excellent songs and too many basic songs. There's kind of some songs that really don't do anything or that are okay, and a couple that are like Paper and Electric Guitar that are kind of corny. Memories Can't Wait isn't really a great track either. Maybe you could benefit from having another experimental track like Drugs on here, maybe somewhere in the middle, and give it some more depth and another opportunity to do a more unusual song. But not a bad album overall. When I tally up the stars for the album, it's 25.75 stars divided by 11 tracks. That's 2.34. So a little bit lower than good. Excuse me, a little bit higher than good. So I feel pretty confident with giving it a 63 out of 100. Excuse me, on my score out of 100. Just some opportunities here. Not, I wouldn't say, I don't think anybody would put Fear of Music in the top 3 albums for Talking Heads. I think it's a good album. It's close to in between good and very good. It's a couple tracks away from being very good. And I could say that a lot about a lot of albums, but it's really kind of hits home on this one specifically. I thought I would rate this album a little higher, kind of going into it, but I kind of forgot about some of the tracks that, they're lively, they're upbeat, they're catchy, they're funky, but just some of them don't really go anywhere, and you're just like, okay, like it could have been a better song on there. It could have gone somewhere. Yeah, 63 out of 100. Yeah, that's my review for Fear of Music. Just curious, what would you score it, and do you have your favorite 3 tracks on the album? My favorite 3 tracks are definitely Life During Wartime, Cities, and Drugs. Those are my favorite 3. Alright, thanks so much for watching.